Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Johnson, without getting bogged down into conduct reviews versus performance reviews, why did you give that $9,000 bonus?
I gave that $9,000 bonus because I was focused on performance and because the recommendation came from the Buildings Commissioner, who was the direct budget and supervisor of Mr. Neely.
Let me ask it another way. If you could take that bonus back, if you could go back in time and not approve that bonus, would you do that?
Well, I would certainly like to avoid these questions, yes.
Would you?
I think
do you wish you had not approved that
everything
bonus?
in retrospect is always hard to understand. At the time, I was expecting the Inspector General's report. You know, it's
I appreciate
not
that.
a decision.
I appreciate that. But right now, if you could, do you wish you had not approved that bonus?
I'm not sure how I can answer that, knowing what I know about all of the rules and the...
Let me appreciate it. Let me move on. My colleagues on both sides have rightfully focused on how did this happen, who knew what procedures were in place that let this happen, when did it happen, all important questions in an investigation. But what eats at me is the why. Why does something like this happen? And again, many of these examples have been pointed out. The $6,000 commemorative coins. Did Mr. Neely, Ms. Johnson, think that was his money?
I have no idea.
Do you think it's your money?
I do think it's my money. That's why I was so appalled, and that's why I resigned.
You don't think that's your money?
I believe I'm a taxpayer. It's my taxpayers' money.
Taxpayers' money. The $8,000 spent on yearbooks. Do you believe Mr. Neely thought that was his money?
I don't know what he was thinking.
Do you think it's your money? Whose money is that?
It's the taxpayers' money.
The $130,000 spent on 6 scouting missions to visit Las Vegas. Do you think Mr. Neely thought that was his money?
I have no idea what Mr. Neely was thinking.
Do you think it's your money?
I believe it's the taxpayers' money.
Mr. Robertson, do you think that $130,000 was your money?
I believe that money belongs to the taxpayers.
Mr. Foley, do you think that was your money?
No, I believe it's the taxpayers' money.
Food and drink for the conference, $145,000. Mr. Robertson, do you think Mr. Neely truly thought that was his money?
I don't know what Mr. Neely was thinking.
Do you think that was your money?
That money clearly belongs to the taxpayers.
Mr. Foley, do you think Mr. Neely thought that was his money?
I do not know what he was thinking.
Do you think that was your money?
No, it clearly belongs to the taxpayer.
And I don't know you, and I respect your service, but why even joke? Why even joke about abusing taxpayer dollars? Why even do that? I mean, all my colleagues have said, rightfully, everybody knows what the American people are going through right now. Can't you imagine that for $6,500, the average struggling taxpayer out there could find something to do with that? For $8,000 for these souvenir yearbooks, do you think the average man or woman in any one of our districts today would know what to do with $8,000?
Again, I absolutely apologize for my remarks. I clearly recognize they were inappropriate.
But what, Mr. Foley, what made you feel like you could joke about it to begin with? See, what I want to know is that this culture, why? Why did Mr. Neely feel like he could do what he did? If Mr. Neely had to foot the bill for this conference, would he have felt that he could have abused his own dollars like that?
I don't know what Mr. Neely would have felt.
It's just, and Ms. Johnson, I know you appreciate this. It's not your money. It's Mr. Robertson, it's not your money. And this is what has the American people so worked up. $8,000 is a lot of money. $6,500 goes a very long way for most families today. And I would argue that the invisible man there, Mr. Neely, If he had thought this was his money, we wouldn't be here today. Mr. Chairman, I yield back. Thank you.